My name is Peter Cutt. I am Director of the Climate Emergency Institute. I'm making this video on the 17th of March 2024 by way of endorsement of Gillian Maguire, who I know well, who is running for President of the BC Teachers Federation, aiming for the divestment of the union's pension fund from its fossil fuel investments, reportedly amounting to tens of billions of dollars. Why should pension funds divest their fossil fuel investments? Because of the global climate change emergency, which in particular is impacting the province of British Columbia severely. Heat, drought and wildfires have been impacting British Columbia, which is well known, and global climate change in general is severely impacting the province. As of March 2024, British Columbia is experiencing severe historic drought levels. At the end of the month of February 2024, 84% of the Pacific region was classified as in drought, abnormally dry, in moderate to extreme drought, including 95% of the region's agricultural landscape. British Columbia has warmed an average of 1.4 degrees C per century from 1900 to 2013. This is higher than the global average rate of 0.85 degrees C per century. This is from the British Columbia government, and that is higher by 64%. The 2023 wildfire season is well known to have been the most destructive in British Columbia's recorded history. More than 2.84 million hectares of forest and land were burned. And today there are still 92 active fires in British Columbia, holdovers from last year's record fires, according to the latest figures from the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre, and this comes from CBC. Business Green has just published, 15th of March 2024, an article on this issue. The article is titled, "Climate Ruin Should Be Considered by Pension Policymakers," and this comes from the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries. The report calls for planetary solvency framework, which views nature as an asset. The article says that pension policymakers should consider the risk of climate ruin in their assessments, and their report says that overshoot of the 1.5 degrees C temperature threshold by 2030 is extremely likely. Any warming above the 1.5 degrees threshold increases the risk of multiple climate tipping points, whether that be halting of major ocean current circulation, Antarctic ice sheet collapse, or destruction of the Amazon rainforest. This is a recent graphic from the Climate Emergency Institute, and this shows that all aspects of the global climate emergency are getting worse, faster. So this is up to 2023, with the record global warming of about 1.5 degrees C. And all of these drivers of global climate change and direct effects of global climate change are increasing rapidly at accelerating rates. Therefore, Canada pension funds that are invested heavily in fossil fuels are fueling the unlivable future, that is, for the children of the world everywhere. The 11 pension funds in this year's Shift Action Report collectively manage more than $2.2 trillion in retirement savings. In total, Canadian pension funds hold more than $4 trillion in assets. That's from a recent CBC article. A new analysis by Shift Action warns of catastrophic and existential risks. Disregarded by major public pensions. Canadian pension funds are ignoring the threat to their members' retirement security as the global climate tips into a new and more destructive phase. Speaking for Climate Shift, Patrick DeRoche says that there are some pretty ominous concerns that we're approaching tipping points. Pension funds need to understand that their mandate is impossible to fulfill without a stable climate. There is no retirement security unless we have a safe climate to retire into. Perhaps the continued fossil fuel investments by the Canadian pension funds should not be surprising. The report found 7 of the 11 pension managers analyzed have at least one director or trustee who is concurrently a director or executive of a fossil fuel company. In conclusion, these data clearly show that the continued increase and combustion of fossil fuels continues the world on a trend to biosphere collapse.